Returning from the A-League in Australia, playing for Brisbane, tell us, why Swindon Town?
Listen, I've come back and it's a club that I'm close affiliated with, and it's around the corner from where I am and home, and like I say, it was my first professional club, so it just, when I spoke to the chairman and all the dots kind of lined up, and it was a no-brainer in the end.
Give us an insight into how it came about. Of course, you mentioned the Swindon owner there, Clem Morfuni, a millionaire Australian plumber. He's out in Australia, you're out in Australia. Tell us how it came about.
Listen, we had a couple of chats when we was over there on the phone. We've spoken previously when we was both in the UK. Then, listen, he was over there in Brisbane for business, and listen, we met for a cup of coffee and just got chatting, and listen, the wheels started going forward then. I didn't think nothing of it. Then a couple of months later, we're in the back end of November, December time, and my mind was made up really of where I was at with the football and coming back across, because listen, like I said, the family was in a position where we needed to come back. Our eldest was here, so it was a no-brainer, and when I told the chairman that I was thinking of coming back, that all kind of fell into place.
You enjoyed your 6 months out there?
Yeah, I loved it. I couldn't sit in front of you now and say, listen, I didn't enjoy it, because it was a new experience and everything was great, the weather, but I just couldn't get my head around the football not being the pinnacle really. And like I said, my eldest was at home, so that was a tough aspect to follow really. She was going to come out, then she wasn't, and then look, we decided to come back. And listen, I thank Brisbane for the way they handled the termination of both sides of the contract, and I've got nothing but good things to say about them really, and the way they I was a marquee player for them as such, but for them to allow me to terminate my contract and come back to the UK, listen, it speaks volumes to what kind of people they are.
You are 33 years young.
Young, yeah.
Young. Mm. You must have had other offers.
Yeah, I did. But listen, I come back for family reasons. I don't live too far from here. It was a no-brainer for me to come back and help the football club go forward, and for me to come and play games really. There's a young squad here and something that I can use my experience to help the younger lads progress.
As much as you can. Tell us about the deal. How long is it? Is it an initial 6-month deal?
And
when can you start?
Initial 6 months, and then we'll see how both parties feel at the end, and we can go for them. We get started. Can't get started until into January, because I need to wait for international clearance. I think that's what the case. So there's no game on the 1st, but then the next game is obviously on the 14th, and that gives me a little bit of time to get used to the lads and train and go for them. So look, for the 6 months, I'll give my best and try and ultimately score as many goals as possible.
Halfway through the season, 23 league games to go. What's the target for you personally, but also the team?
I think that it'll go team first. I think their ultimate goal is promotion, isn't it? Let's be honest, it was that at the start of the season. I think nothing's really changed, and that's where they are. They've given themselves a great opportunity in the position they are. Okay, sometimes the results haven't gone to plan, so over recent weeks as such, but let's not get far away. There's only a few points in it. I went into not a similar scenario, shall we say, when, was it last year, 18 months ago at QPR, 2 years or whatever it was, and they only had 21 points after 23 games, see? And then in the 23 games that was involved in, we had 15 wins. I think it was we only lost 3 games or whatever it was. In the form table, I think we finished 3rd on the second half of the season. Just missed out on the playoffs because we had too much to do. But I think if I can replicate that here, then it puts us right in the shop window come what may.
The last time you were here, it was your first professional club. You had an exceptional, better than a goal every other game record. Do you have a favourite moment from that time?
Yeah, when you talk like that, it was just mad when you think about the numbers and whatever it is that I scored. But I'd have to go for the Charlton playoff game. I'd have to, because it was at home, it was under the lights. It was, I don't know, I should have scored 2 in the first half really, but to come across and score the header I did, it was perfect really. But we just didn't get the romantic end come Wembley. It was so it's weird that the scales kind of even itself out. It was a great moment, and then fast forward 3 weeks, it then becomes the worst time in the football bit of my early start of my career, shall we say.
I'll give you the record because you're too modest to say it, but it was 31 goals, 31 league goals in 54. It's a fantastic record. Because this was your first professional club and they gave you your first pro contract, is that one of the reasons why it's so special to come back?
Yeah, I'd say so. Yeah, there's not many players get to start and finish where they was. I'm not saying finish as in the thing. I've got for me, I feel like I've got a lot to give. So what will be for the future, but for the 6 months to come back and play for the club that I've very much started for, that's certainly where was a big pull for me to come back. But I can't get away from the fact that the chairman was the factor for me.
You're still a young man. You're in great shape. How long do you think you've got left?
I don't know. I've always said that I won't be stupid enough to say I'm going to carry on till my body's done in. I'm not going to be. I'm not that person. When I know the time's right, the time's right. But as we sit here, the time is far from away. I don't see that. Listen, I know it's coming near the end or whatever, but it's not upon me yet. I know it will happen. Of course, it happens to everybody, and life after football will be one of those things. But for the time being, I'm certainly boots on, ready to play.
You've been an exceptional striker. The Baggies, QPR, Southampton, so many more clubs that I could mention. Played in the top flight. I just wonder at this age now, how will you like the service to you? Are you back to goal, like the ball on the edge of the box, or you still like the ball coming in from the side and getting? And obviously, you've always been a great header of the ball.
Yeah, but listen, back to goal stuff is that's part and parcel of what being a centre forward is. But I'm never going to turn anyone or do anything silly. I like my wide men to cross me the ball. It's easy. The wide men have the ball and cross it in. I have no issue of being in the box to put it in. If they don't cross it in, then they'll hear from me, and that's just part and parcel. And listen, I think goal scorers, as the time goes on, I realise that you just have to stay in the width of the box, and that's where you get from me.
Swindon have brought in a lot of players, and a lot of young players over the summer. Had to bring in about 16 new faces. Hopefully help develop some of those young players as well.
Yeah, I think so. That's what I'm saying. Like with the experience-wise, but going over to Oz and playing with younger players and them asking more questions, that gave me like the belief of whatever we'll be after. But it's just something that I can help them with my experience, and I see that with this group now. And I watched them play the other day, and it wasn't great, of course, but you need that experience kind of head out there, or you need that experience head from the sideline talking to the younger players. And I don't know, it seems to come a bit natural to me, to be honest.
And being a local lad from just down the road in Hungerford, are you ready for the demand for tickets?
Yeah, no tickets, mate. Not from me. Listen, it'll just be, I don't know, it's an exciting time, I guess, and it's probably one of the worst kept secrets it has been for the last, whatever it is, a week or so. I don't know, but it's more along the lines of, it's fun to be back. I'm going to be enjoying back playing how I was when I first started. You're not signing the 20-year-old Charlie from Paul Town, you're signing the season pro 33, but still having a lot to give and a lot of experience. And listen, I hope I can bring plenty of goals.